What makes teams or businesses lose top talent? As leaders, we lose talent not only to competitors. Sometimes we lose talent to silence, to stagnation and broken expectations. If you are a leader right now and you're thinking, my best people are getting restless, but I don't have the resources, I don't have the budget, I don't have the headcount, I don't have the promotion slots. The truth is this. People don't leave because growth is slow. They leave because growth feels ignored. I was approached by top voice in the HR space recently, and he asked me this simple but profound question. What's the toughest people-related challenge lately? Hiring, motivation, client relationships? And my response was this. It's keeping people motivated and committed when you don't have the resources or capacity to accommodate their growth. When people ask for promotions, they're often asking not for a title. They're asking for autonomy. They're asking for mastery. They're asking for visibility. They're asking for impact. And it says that their future matters with the company. So when you cannot offer traditional upward mobility, you must shift your strategy from climbing the ladder to expanding the map. Now, so here are 5 tested and proven strategies that I have used that I believe will work in any organization. Number 1, elevate impact through autonomy. High-performing employees don't chase promotion just because they can. They chase promotions because they crave control over the meaningful work they do for the company. If you can't give a new title, give more ownership. Give them stretch assignments that solve a real business bottleneck or accelerate a customer outcome. Or assign mission-critical projects. Let them feel relevant. Increase their authority to make decisions without the constant managerial oversight. Then, as much as you can, use rotational leadership. And by rotational leadership, I mean sometimes you allow them to lead weekly staff meetings or internal programs to develop their management skills, even without giving them that former manager title. Instead of saying, help with the migration, give them, you own the migration plan, the stakeholder updates, you own the risk tracking, our coach, but you lead. You redefine growth as skill velocity. Growth doesn't have to be always vertical. It can be horizontal. And sometimes horizontal growth is more valuable in the long term. I call it skill velocity. And that is how quickly someone is acquiring capabilities that expand their future options. Now, these are some action steps you can take to encourage that kind of environment. Cross-functional exposure, such as shadowing or temporary rotations in other departments to broaden their perspective and expertise. Internal knowledge swaps. With internal knowledge swaps, I mean allowing them to teach their peers, peer-to-peer knowledge swap, allow them to lead knowledge sharing sessions. Mentorships. Senior, high-achieving employees, have them mentor the junior ones. That is leadership in practice. If your team cannot move up right now, help them move wide. And they'll feel the momentum immediately again. Now to the third strategy, recognition. Recognition that actually lands the value. Now, when raises and promotions are limited, recognition becomes more than a nice thing to do. It becomes a retention strategy. Be specific in your praises. When you praise these employees, tie to a business impact. Let them feel that the input actually has a business impact. Staff meetings and newsletters, use that to highlight the specific contributions. Gallup data shows that recognized employees are 4 times better to stay more engaged. Private appreciation of their effort. When you have your one-on-ones with these employees, always show your appreciation. It makes them feel valued. It makes them feel respected. It makes them feel appreciated. Visibility matters. Also, one other thing I do is personalized perks. I call them personalized stay perks. Small gestures like PTO flexibility, an extra day off here and there, a handwritten note from leadership, or the ability to swap a task for the other because they feel more comfortable with it. These kind of things actually boost their morale. I've seen it work time and time again, and it's something that I'll continue to use. Now, to this very strategy, the fourth strategy is something that I've seen most leaders avoid. It's transparency. Now, in my term, I call it radical transparency without killing employee morale. Silence during resource constraints creates uncertainty and fear. Transparency builds trust. The three actions that I take regularly in situations like these that have worked. Number one is conducting regular stay interviews, asking questions. What keeps you here? What would make you leave? Acting on even the smallest feedback restores some of their commitment to the company. And now addressing those gaps that you identified during the one-on-ones, explaining the market reality and the why behind the lack of resources, and helps the employee build more trust in you and in the company. And then regularly sharing the company performance and strategy so the employees feel they are insiders who understand the broader vision of the company. So it makes them feel involved. It makes them feel up to date with what's going on. I can't promise you a promotion this cycle, but I can help you build experience. I can help you build visibility. I can help you build outcomes that position you for the next opportunity. Let's define what growth looks like over the next 90 days. And I will make sure your work gets seen. That puts confidence in the employee. It makes the employee feel that this manager really wants the best for me, is really interested in my growth. Make development plans. Make them really specific. That's the fifth strategy. When you build a development plan for an employee, make it very specific. Motivation dies in vague language. So if you're resource constrained, you must be precision driven. Use this 4-part development plan. Identify the skills you think this employee can improve in. So it could be leadership skills. It could be vendor management. It could be position specific skills. It could be budgeting. It could be project ownership. It could be opportunity to present to leadership. It could be mentoring. Give them the opportunity to practice this skill set. Then define what success looks like. Measurable outcomes. So what does success looks like in this development plan? Review this on a cadence of 30, 60, or 90 days, depending on what you agree with the employee. This is the hard part, and it's the leadership truth. If an employee of yours has truly outgrown the role, and you genuinely can't create a path for this employee to grow, do not trap them with false hope. Sometimes commitment increases when people know you care about them and you care about their future, even if it is not forever in your organization. Even if the skill set you're building will be valuable somewhere else, you're still helping them to grow while in the organization. And some of those skill sets will be utilized even before they leave the organization. It gives the employee a higher sense of commitment, a reason to remain committed until they leave the organization. Here's a simple 90-day plan the leaders can start this week. Identify these high-performing employees that you think have the risk of leaving the company. Schedule these one-on-one stay interviews with them. Ask them questions. What does growth mean to you right now? Based on that, assign them stretch projects that will give them that sense of relevance and also give them some decision authority. Let them be able to make decisions over this project. You coach the lead, and they create a 90 days growth plan and publicly recognize them here and there for specific wins. Let them feel that their work is being appreciated. Then review progress within the 90 days, expand scope or the visibility of this project in a tight environment. Remember, your job is to protect, trust, create progress, maintain fairness, and keep the future visible. What are the other ways you've been able to keep your employees motivated when there is no clear path for growth? Please, let's share that in the comment. Let's make this an interesting conversation. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel and share this channel with anybody you feel will benefit from this content. I'll see you in my next video.